Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and Elena and I are here for your Super Spirited Saturday! Yeah, I'm really tired, so that might have come across as a little bit fake, but it is going to be a really Super Spirited Saturday. This is actually Friday night for me now, but yeah, so we are going to address the topic of not being perfect. How do I come to terms with not being perfect, accept my own imperfections as normal, and deal with the demands placed on me to be perfect by those around me? This is such a phenomenal topic because so many of us with eating disorders fall into that trap. Fall into the trap of, I need to be perfect, I need to be, I need to pretend everything's perfect, I need that facade around me in order to be safe. And then when that threatens and when that cracks, I know for me anyway, the very first thing I go to is the scale. And the very first thing that I go to is my eating disorder, because I pretty much have, the eating disorder thing down. That's pretty much the only thing that I can be almost perfect at. Just the only step from perfection that I can be at in that endeavor of mine in life is to die. That's the last step to perfection for me in my life. I can't be perfect at anything else in my life, but the eating disorder, probably. I could. And that's very, very comforting to me. It's not comforting at all, though. It's a very disturbing thought to know that the only thing you can be perfect at is going to kill you, if you manage to achieve perfection at it. And that's kind of, when I step back and sort of look outside of things, I managed to realize that that's the way life is too. I can't succeed in life, I can't function in life and be perfect. It just does not work. One of the things that I tell people as a joke, when they ask, how did you get over your perfectionistic tendencies, I tell them to go to university, or like post-secondary education, because I try as I might, I cannot get perfect grades in school. I can't do it. I can get good grades. I can get acceptable grades. I've never failed a class in university. But I can't get perfect grades in university. I've yet to do it. I have never received perfect in anything in university. But I have half a degree, and that, at the end, a degree is a degree. And it doesn't matter if I did it perfectly. So that's one of the really sobering thoughts, and one of the really sobering experiences I've had, is that in real life, and university isn't quite real life, but it's a lot closer than like high school and grade school are. In university, in order to succeed, if I focus on perfection, I won't get there. It just will not happen. And you know what? I would rather succeed than be perfect. I would rather be happy than be perfect. And yeah, I struggle days to believe that's possible, but I'm hoping it is. What's the other thing that I try to think of is, if I'm being perfect, then there is this implicit message that I'm sending to everyone that they need to be too. And I don't want to put those demands on people. I don't want to put those demands at all on people. It is extremely conceited for me to expect that everyone around me can be perfect. And of course, consciously, I'm never expecting anyone to be perfect. But it's always been one of those Sarah exception rules, or Sarah specific rules, that I must be perfect and nobody else has to be. I'm the only one that's seeing it that way. Everybody else is seeing it in that if I am perfect and if I achieve everything perfectly, that they need to rise up to that standard too. And that, I don't want to put that pressure on people. So that's how I pretty much sort of tried to relinquish the being perfect at that point. I know it can be hard. Yeah, it's hard. that's what I was known for. I was known for being good and being exceptional and being perfect at everything. And so I have to find something new to be known for. My winning personality, hopefully. As in order with the demands around me, it depends who's placing those demands on me. If it's the people that I love and the people that I care about, I generally just remind them that I'm human, I'm not perfect. It generally, like my experiences, it has to do a lot with emotion. And when I express emotion, people get quite upset and they don't want to see it, or they don't want to hear it, or they just want a way out of it. At which point I'm constantly reminding the people that I love that I'm human too, and that I have emotions, and that I'm not a perfect wall. I'm not perfectly, stable in that regard. And the fact that you are seeing my emotion is so, so healthy, and you should be so happy for me. If it's about, schoolwork or some other thing, it's just, I would just try and sort of have a broken record that goes on in your head. And then it goes, to remind yourself that you don't need to be perfect. Just remind yourself that if I'm trying to be perfect, that means that I expect everyone else to be also. Not necessarily that you do, but that's the implicit message you're sending. For people around you, as much as I could say their opinion doesn't matter, it does. I know that it does. So I just insert a little tape and be like, I'm human, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, I'm okay with that, and I want you to be okay with that. Because when you take the lead in that regard, and when you say, I'm totally okay with the fact that I'm not perfect, even if you're not, just lie, then people start to go, okay, all right, I can handle this. If she can handle it, I can. So if you mess up at a job, yeah, one of the things that is really, really good to deal with perfection is to own your mistakes. And, only own what you're supposed to. Yes, that was kind of a mistake that I shouldn't have done. I probably should have checked here. I should have done that instead. That's what I'll do next time. And leave all the guilt and all the loaded emotions behind, because, you know what? You're human. You make mistakes. It's okay. And if you are okay with it, the people around you will start being okay with it too. And if they keep bugging you about it and I haven't had a whole lot of experience with this. I get a lot of people who are just relax, chill, have fun, don't try to be perfect. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with this, but I can imagine that if you have a broken record in there, and every time they say that, this wasn't done well enough, or you didn't do this right, or whatever, just turn on that record and be like, I'm human, I make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. And say that out loud over and over and over and over again. And it's this assertiveness skill. And eventually, they'll get the point that you're not going to change for them. And if they love you, they won't ask you to change for them. And eventually it won't be taxing on you emotionally. It'll be like turning that record on again. You'll hear it over and over again, like clicking it on repeat. And be like, I'm okay, I'm human, I make mistakes. I'm okay with that. And then, they say something again. You say the same thing over and over again. That it's not up for discussion. That that's just the way it is. And that they have to accept that. Or choose not to. But that it's not your problem. So I'm hoping that was of some help, or some insight, or some interest, or whatever. I hope to see you guys next week. Have a grand weekend. And take care, everybody.